I had a cousin once who wanted everyone to like show up and show out, and she put that on the, you know what I mean? She put that on her invites.
She
Like
said, show up naked.
she did not say show up naked, but like
No clothes required. Hey, I'm Teague.
And I'm Sam.
And we are your well-informed girlfriends, bringing you the stories that make you the smartest people at brunch.
We love to see it.
We love to see it.
This week, we're talking about the attention span class divide,
Okay.
an update on California's data delete law as it goes into effect, and America's so-called fun shortage.
Oh, no.
I know.
Of all the shortages.
Of all the things to be short on.
A fun one? No. Plus, we're also talking about how seniors are going back to the workforce at an alarming rate.
Yeah.
That's a crazy story.
Tough.
We're also talking about something called naked dressing. Don't know what that means, but we're going to get into it. And we're also talking about ghosting long-term partners, and that is on the rise.
Ugh, yes.
What?
Don't love to see that.
With a fun shortage? Come on.
I know, right? How could you?
Yeah.
Anyways, all that and so much more on this week's app of Well-Informed Girlfriends.
Amazing. Okay, so our first story we do want to talk about, seniors are going back into the workforce at kind of an alarming rate. It's an interesting story that was released this week from PBS. And they were talking about how more retirees are going back into work, not because they're bored, but because they simply can't afford not to.
That's tough.
Rising costs for housing, groceries, healthcare, and other basics are forcing this older generation of Americans to go back into the workforce. So this report, it features people who thought that they had saved enough, right? They thought they had done everything right, but then now they're saying that Social Security and their retirement savings just aren't enough. And they're not kind of stretching as far as they thought, especially you think about inflation.
Yeah, I
You
think
know?
none of us, I think that's true for all of us, right?
Right? It's like you think you've planned for a certain amount of things, but like if variables change, right? Like if the cost of living goes up so dramatically, then maybe you aren't as set up as you thought you were. So anyways, right now, more retirees are unretiring for financial reasons more than just a sense of purpose. So
Ugh, that's tough. Are they going
Yeah.
back part-time or full-time?
I think there's a ton of different ways people are doing it. Some are
Yeah.
taking part-time jobs while others are returning to physically demanding work just to make ends meet, which is really tough. It's like, that's not what you want to be doing when you're older. You know, I want to just be like knitting and like crocheting and I don't know what I'll be doing
I
at
want to
that
be doing
time.
that now.
Yeah. Making a scrapbook. I don't know. So yeah, it's tough. And I hope that there are obviously social safety nets, but apparently not enough to keep people out of that situation. So tough.
That is so tough.
Hate
I
it.
mean, I have to say my dad went back to work for basically the same reason. So
Yeah.
he's working at Home Depot part-time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And sometimes it's nice, obviously. And I'm like such a believer in like, you should stay active and busy. And whether that means you become a Walmart greeter or you like have a part-time job or maybe you volunteer at the animal shelter. Like, I think it's
Yeah.
important as we age to like stay super active, just keep your mind and body sharp.
Yeah.
But I do think that if you have to do it under stressful situations and you're worried about making ends meet or because of your finances, that adds a little bit of a caveat to it that is not ideal.
Oh, for sure. And I,
Don't like it.
nobody wants to make grandma have to like drive for Uber or whatever.
No,
That's so
oh my
tough.
gosh.
So
Oh, and I'm so sorry, but grandma, you can't drive for Uber. You can't see the road. I'm so sorry. That's just my own grandma.
that's your grandma.
I'm not going to let her sign up for Uber, okay?
Got it. Got it. Teague's grandma, not on these roads. Not in
Sorry,
the streets.
Grammy. Not for you.
Okay, well, so this next story is actually really interesting and a follow-up to one of our most viral stories ever. California residents can now officially delete their info from the data economy. Starting on August 1st, the state's Delete Act is officially in effect, so Californians can submit their request to the state government online, and then it'll tell hundreds of data brokers to delete the personal information that they've collected about you and keep deleting it going forward. The brokers collect everything, by the way, from your address to your income, location history, even visits to political rallies and churches that they then use to sell you marketing and ads. So to file a request, just go to privacy.ca.gov/drop, DROP. And the brokers have to start processing your requests as of August 1st, and they generally have up to 90 days to delete your data.
I love that. You know, I did this when we talked about this story maybe a few months ago, but I had already done it. I wonder if they will honor that. Like,
They
I don't
will,
have to do this again,
if
right?
you preemptively did it, you're good to go.
Okay, great.
And they are in theory telling the brokers to delete it starting now. So they have
Delete
90
it.
days as of August 1.
Let it go. Let
Yeah.
go my
Let it go. Yeah,
address.
exactly. For real. Lose my number.
Lose my number. It's summer. Okay, so this next story I thought was very interesting. The Atlantic did a piece this week about the attention span class divide.
Mm.
So they broke it all down and they were arguing that our shrinking attention spans might not be just because of TikTok and smartphones, although it's got to be a lot to do with it, first of all. So not totally the culprit, but it could actually also be a class issue.
Oh.
So the idea is that people with stable jobs, predictable schedules, and more free time can sit still longer. Like they can sit through a movie for 3 hours or read a long book. But if you're juggling multiple
Oh, yeah.
jobs, childcare, constant interruptions, shorter forms of entertainment just seem to fit your life better.
Yeah, you're like,
Right?
I have time to watch a 5-minute reel, but I simply cannot watch The Odyssey.
Exactly. So it's almost a question of like, is our attention span getting worse or is uninterrupted time becoming a luxury?
Probably both, if I had to guess.
I think probably both, right? I mean, you look at social media, obviously our attention spans are already shot. But I also do feel like there is a luxury in being able to put your phone away, disconnect from whatever work or whatever things you need to be connected to during the
Right.
day, go have a little escape at the movie theater, for instance, or reading a book or going to the beach. Like having real free time nowadays does feel like more of a luxury than it's felt like in forever,
Yeah, no kidding.
right?
I definitely agree. And I'm gonna skip ahead because I want to talk about a related story.
Yeah.
So basically it's not a party in the USA right now for a bunch of reasons.
Okay.
But now Bloomberg's reporting there's a literal fun shortage.
What?
I know. Evidently, there's a crisis of funflation, and the
Okay.
country is seeing a significant loss of recreational infrastructure, which makes leisure and leisure activities increasingly unaffordable. So that all ties together with what you were just talking about,
Yeah.
how like people can't afford to take a vacation or to vacate their lives, if you will, because
Wow.
it's increasingly unaffordable. So basically, there's been this decline in available venues for fun, like bars and golf courses, but also the cost of everything has surged. So entertainment, if you want to see a concert, it's hundreds of dollars. Travel, flight tickets are really expensive. Socializing. Anyway, so all of that contributes to increasing loneliness and isolation. Plus, and this is the kicker here, more and more corporations are shifting their business models towards high income earners. You know how we've talked about there's a
Oh,
K-shaped
yeah.
economy or whatever.
Yes.
So basically, as more and more
Mhm.
recreational activities target the higher net worth individuals, that means people in every other class has fewer leisure activities available to them. And so I think that might also be a contributing factor macroeconomic wise to
No,
why we're having
absolutely.
less fun.
I mean, I sounded the alarm when they got rid of Spirit Airlines because I just feel
Yes,
like
you
that was
did.
it's alarming. It's like you're no longer servicing people in a certain income bracket, right?
Right.
But instead, you're building these luxury, places that you can go, lounges before your flight and you want to get free snacks and drinks, but it's all part of your credit card and whatever. Like it's mind-boggling to me that we're just like essentially like dismissing a part of society and saying, well, no, I mean, but we're going to service these people that are super high income earners. I think that's such a bummer.
Oh my gosh.
And that
And they've
cannot
even
last
stratified
forever.
that. Like the upper middle class have access to the regular United Lounge. But if you
Right.
want like the fanciest of lounges, you have to pay for first class Polaris or whatever it
It's
is.
crazy.
And it's just so crazy to me that, I mean, frankly, it's the inshitification of everything. But,
yeah.
that's neither here nor there.
And it is really interesting when you say that we're having a fund shortage because it's so true. Like these venues, they cost a lot of money to put up a mini golf place, to put up a movie theater, to put up, different places to do recreational activity. So especially in small towns, you think about small towns, that is
sure.
a huge expense. If you don't have a huge market to tell investors, hey, we're going to have a bunch of people coming in and guarantee you this much a profit, then it's going to be really hard to pitch getting recreational activities into small towns. And that is where you see that fun divide and that fun shortage.
Yeah.
And that's such a bummer. It
is
shouldn't be
such
that
a bummer.
way.
It should not be that way.
Shouldn't be that way.
I mean, and I didn't want to like get into all of this too, but the
Yeah.
Bloomberg story also mentions that the high cost of real estate, especially in like high cost of living areas like, oh, I don't know, LA or New York,
Mhm.
it's super expensive to open a business there.
Of
And
course.
so, like, for example, there are businesses on Santa Monica that have been empty for years because
Yeah.
they want like $20,000 a month to run a restaurant. And like the margins are already so slim on restaurants. I don't know
Yeah.
how you could physically open a restaurant and expect to pay that a month.
Yeah.
And so I think that all of that is contributing to sort of this like general, and frankly, the economy's unsettling. Everybody feels like very
Yeah.
unsettled, even like stock market analysts. So
Yeah.
it's a tough time.
Tough
times.
time, tough time, but we gotta try to find the fun when we can, I feel like. That's the theme,
Yes.
you know? It's like, there might be a fun shortage, but we're gonna make fun out of a night in, you know?
Yes. When life
Let's
hands
have an
you
admin night.
lemons, make lemon bars, if you will.
Yes, exactly. Okay, well, actually, speaking of, this is pretty interesting. Gen Z allegedly, they've been the group of kids that are like, we don't do anything bad, we don't drink, we don't do anything, and now they're drinking more.
Well, well, well.
Well, we've gotten to that point, Gen Z, haven't we?
I know. It turns out they're actually not the ones killing the bar industry.
Okay.
It might be boomers. Isn't
What?
that crazy?
Well, they should slow down.
Okay.
What? Yeah.
Shots fired. Shots fired.
Sorry.
But okay, a new study from IWSR, which is a leading industry alcohol data provider,
Yeah.
they found that 74% of legal age Gen Zers do in fact drink alcohol, which is
Okay.
almost identical to the nationwide average of 76% of people. And that's
Okay.
actually up, by the way, from 66% of them 3 years ago.
Wow. Whoa.
This will come as not a shock. Millennials, our generation, still the biggest drinkers.
Oh.
In our defense, we're the ones with young kids right now. I mean, not you or me, but like
Yeah.
our generationally speaking. And then after that is Gen X. But the real surprise is baby boomers now have the lowest drinking rate of any generation. So they are, in fact, the biggest drivers of alcohol's decline.
Wow. Well, honestly, good. They should be like on a boat and like sipping tea at this point. Like, what are we doing? You know, like I did actually read a really interesting story that I didn't put in here, but we were talking about how California has been producing way less wine because
Oh
the
my
demand
gosh,
of
yes.
wine has gone down. And I was devastated to see that. I was like, oh my gosh. And they have had to like burn some of their crop off
I saw that.
because
yeah.
they are not producing enough wine. The demand of wine has gone down so much in the past few years. So
Yeah, it's
maybe we
it's
should
so
tell
tough.
boomers to, I don't know, open a glass
Crack-
of Zin.
Crack open a glass.
Crack open a bottle of
wine.
Zin.
Yeah. I don't know. Honestly, all the boomers in my life are still drinking me under the table for sure. So I can't speak to that. But speaking of that, I will
Yeah.
mention that the survey found moderation is the default position of most drinkers. Like
Okay.
societally, we've all decided that moderation is the best way to go.
Well, thank goodness.
So like how often people drink alcohol is down and the amount they drink on a given night out is down too. So like
that's good.
these days, as of 2026, a person will have 3.9 drinks per occasion.
Okay.
And it used to be 4.4. So like almost 4.5 drinks on average
Okay.
in 2024 and 25. So
Yeah. Well, and we haven't even, we can rant about this all night, but we haven't even touched about everybody's on a GLP-1, which you can only drink so much on those too. So
Oh,
like that
so true.
might be contributing to this as well.
I
But
do think that's probably part of it. Yeah. I think
who
that's
knows? Well,
fair.
speaking of GLP-1s, we have a story about America's obesity penalty.
So yeah, no, I thought this was a really interesting story. It's research out of Harvard, and they found that basically women are specifically facing this obesity penalty. And so they compared women specifically, taking GLP-1 weight loss drugs with similar women who wanted the meds but hadn't started yet. And over 18 months, the unemployed women on GLP-1s were 27% more likely to find a job, and single women were 29% more likely to get married or move in with a partner.
Okay.
Isn't that crazy? So researchers say that better health obviously can explain some of those gains, but not all of it. And the study suggests that bias against heavier women might be keeping them from getting hired or forming relationships in the first place.
Wow. So GLP-1s are seemingly changing women's
Life experiences.
status and life experiences in society. Whoa.
Yeah. And honestly, like I have been heavier, I have been lighter, and I have taken GLP-1s, and I'm currently taking the pill form of Wegovy. Just interest of full disclosure, this is not SponCon. It's actually quite expensive for me to take, but whatever. For pre-diabetic reasons. But anyways, the point of the story is that like I do feel like people do treat you differently when you've lost the weight. And it is kind of actually a little sad to see if you think about if you let yourself think about it too much, like how much
Mhm.
nicer people are to you in the world. Like I have a pretty friendly face to begin with, but like you do move through the world differently, and it's really interesting. So if anyone wants to talk to me about that, I would be interested to hear. Please slide into my DMs. But
Yeah.
those are my thoughts.
Interesting. Okay.
Apparently, some of us can't even escape the algorithm in the bedroom when we're alone. According to the 2026 Pleasure Census, which is an anonymous survey of more than 2,000 people conducted by the HUD dating app and Girls Get Off, more than half of Gen Z respondents said they caught themselves, quote, performing during solo pleasure, thinking about how they look and sound instead of I don't know, how they feel. And the report suggests that social media and influencer culture might actually be creating an inner critic that follows you into the bedroom during sexy times. And it also found 73% of Gen Z respondents say concerns about their appearance make it harder for them to enjoy sex or pleasure.
Wow. Now, here's the thing. I totally understand this because
Yeah.
it feels like that is such a vulnerable, intimate time, right? And
Yeah.
so I think we've all been barraged by all of these, especially you think about social media and like what you're seeing online all day long. Like my For You page, which I try not to go on social media a lot. I'm pretty anti social media, but I do end up on there. And my like For You page is all hot, skinny girls like that I'm comparing myself to all day long.
Oh,
And
that's
that's just
tough.
because it's like what I'm like, I will click and be like, now what does that workout? And
Yeah.
so I think like because we're seeing that all the time, it's impossible to not like if you're in a vulnerable situation with a partner or whatever, think about what you look like. Of
Sure,
course.
but what about like when you're alone? I don't know. I never think about like even not in sexy time. Like I don't feel like I'm sitting there thinking about my appearance when I'm by myself doing anything, really.
I hate to poke a hole in your story, but I just feel like it's kind of that thing when you like walk past yourself in like a reflection on the street, and it's
Oh
like you look in
yeah.
the reflection, you're like, how do
That's
I look?
true. Yeah,
It's
yeah,
like I
yeah.
think like unfortunately, like because we are so obsessed with image in this country and in the world, like
Mhm.
and it is just like what it is. Like I feel like we're kind of always hyper aware of what we look like.
That's
I'm
so
hyper
true.
aware of what I look like, and that's because I've had like jobs that have been tied to my appearance like my whole life. But also, I think it's because of the culture
Yeah, that's
too.
so true. That's so
So,
true. So I think it's like
interesting.
permeating even into the bedroom, it seems.
Yeah, that's a bummer. I don't
Them's the
like that.
breaks. I know that's
Don't
that's
love that.
tough. Don't love that either.
Mm. Well, speaking of dating stories, we've got a story about how ghosting is on the rise, and this one's a real bummer.
Oh,
Whoa, do we have only bummer stories today?
I know. I feel like
All right, this one is about
this one's a bummer for sure.
how people are ghosting their long-term partners, and that is on the rise. More because you think about ghosting, it's like, okay, this guy I've been on 2 or 3 dates with, like, okay, Jared, I'm gonna ghost you. Or like whatever, and that's still not cool to do.
Yeah, but, like, when you've been dating for years or, for example, like, you live together and you just, like, bail one weekend when they're out of town, like,
Now
I
that
know people
seems
that this has
hard.
happened to,
That's
and that's, like,
ridiculous.
ridiculous. So anyways, this new Wired story
Yeah.
says ghosting is expanding,
Okay.
and, 84% of millennials and Gen Z say they've been ghosted at some point in a relationship, but it's now happening more often in long-term relationships,
Ugh.
and evidently the experts say that this is because growing up with dating apps and social media has made ghosting feel more normal, even though it's deeply harmful for even the ghoster, not just the ghostee.
Right, of course.
Evidently, like, and therapists say ghosters might be just like conflict avoidant or have avoiding attachment styles, but also like that's some bullshit. Like, that's still rude. What are you doing? Get it
No,
together.
that's insane.
Unless
I
you're in
mean,
like
here's
an
the
abusive
thing.
relationship, I feel you owe a partner of, X years an explanation.
No, absolutely. I mean, how silly can you be? Come on. Like, and how disrespectful, to be honest. It's like
Yeah.
we've like both like put ourselves through XYZ, to be together, and then you're just gonna bail and you never have to like even confront the issue. Like, that's not fair. You have to at least sit down and tell me what's going on, or you can't just like
Or
ghost.
even like, I mean, this would obviously still suck, but like even a text or a post-it note, Carrie Styles, like, I'm sorry, I can't, don't hate me or whatever.
Yeah.
Like at least something. That's crazy to just literally ghost. Insane.
Yeah.
Diabolical even.
In fact, diabolical.
Yeah.
This next story, slightly diabolical. Okay, The Cut has this super interesting feature called Call Her Mommy about Gen Z women who say that they're paying for and parenting their boyfriends.
Ugh, the worst.
Okay, many of the women interviewed here for this story earned a lot more than their partners and were fine with that. But what frustrated them was becoming the default planner, motivator, adult in the relationship. So not only are you financially kind of keeping the couple and your partner afloat, but
Mhm.
you're also kind of taking on the emotional burden of the relationship XYZ. So while their boyfriends struggled to chip in for groceries, they all seemed strangely reluctant to contribute in other ways. It's like they're not going to be doing the dishes or handling the laundry either.
So it's like,
So
what are you doing? Like just chilling?
I guess, yeah. I mean, I don't know. This is interesting. But so for those of us who have lived kind of through that Great Recession that we
Ugh,
had, this
yes.
vibe shift has also caused insults like hobosexual Have you heard of this?
Yes, I remember it from the recession era. Like, I feel like
Okay.
people started lobbing that as a diss to like oafish boyfriends who didn't contribute. Like,
Yeah, so
oh my
wait, so
gosh.
just to break it down, hobosexual, it's a slang term online for a person who enters into or stays into a romantic relationship primarily to secure free shelter or financial support rather than staying out of genuine affection.
So it's like back with a vengeance now.
Apparently, and honestly, it makes sense. We talk about the economy all the time.
Yeah.
Times are tough.
Times are tough.
You have a bedroom I could stay in? What? Like, duh. No, I'm just kidding. But, like, I can see, wishy-washy.
No, I mean, like, I'll be the first to admit I moved in with my now husband, like,
Yeah.
only, I think it was 8 or 9 months after we started dating, which was
Okay.
ahead of my timeline. But I was
Yeah.
like, well, times are tough. Like,
Yeah.
we gotta, and it was like, he really wanted me to move into, and he like made the guest bedroom very like Sam friendly,
Yeah,
by
that's
like
sweet.
putting a desk in there for me and stuff. But like, I totally get it. Or even like, I have girlfriends who are dating guys who are like, well, why don't we all just like move in together? And they're like, okay, calm down. We've been together 6 months. And
Yeah.
they're like, yes, but think of the money we would save.
Yeah, but think of the financial proposition. We could do some stuff, We
Yes.
could go on a vacation. We could like save some money living together. No, I get it. And I see the benefit of that. But it's also like, I guess it feels like that, it almost feels like a dirty word. It feels like something maybe people do in the beginning to like get close to you just as an incentive to like live with you, right?
Yeah. I think homosexual means there's like a little bit of, it's not like chaotic good Andy from Parks and Rec energy. It's
Right.
like
It's like you have an ulterior
slightly
motive,
chaotic evil. Yeah.
and you're kind of just like trying to live in my house.
Right, exactly. So that's kind of crappy for sure. Or maybe
Yeah.
you like decided you're not into it and we're living together, but you keep living there for an indefinite amount of time. Like that's crappy too.
Right. That's so fair. Okay, we have gotten to the portion of the show. We have to talk about these drinks that we have nicely placed out for you all to see if you're watching on YouTube. If you can't see it, they're really sweet, colorful drinks called Zevia. It is a better for you soda.
Yeah, and they were nice enough to send us these. They just launched this new campaign called Real Talk Interpreter with Cardi B, where she translates like super polite conversations into what people are actually thinking.
Hilarious.
I think that's really funny. People can even start submitting awkward text DMs and convos on Instagram and TikTok to have Cardi interpret them herself.
Hilarious.
It's like a contest. So anyways, we just wanted to say thanks for that. And do you want to give a quick review of like your flavor?
I'll give my review of the peaches and cream. Yum, yum, yum. Big fan. I love it so much. I do like a peaches and cream moment, so it's great. But I also tried yours and it's great.
I know. I really like this one. It's sort of like a classic,
Lemon lime twist.
lemon lime, like a 7-Up Sprite type energy.
Mhm.
And I will say they have no fake colors and no fake sweeteners. They're sweetened with stevia.
Ooh.
And they come in a bunch of other flavors too, like fruit punch, black cherry, strawberry, lemon burst. So anyways, thank you to Zevia for
Wow.
these samples.
Zevia, big fan. I love it. And you know what? We were also kind of like, maybe this would be fun to like mix with stuff.
Yeah. So it's like taking a better for you soda and making
Good.
it, in fact, worse
And
for you.
adding something to it. I don't know. Who knows? Okay, our final story is something I don't know anything about. It's a story about naked dressing.
Yes. Okay. So naked dressing is evidently leaving the red carpet and
Okay.
entering your office.
What does it mean?
The Wall Street Journal says that this celebrity trend of sheer dresses, visible lingerie, and bra tops is now moving into everyday life.
No.
Yeah. So they cited this one example of a cybersecurity conference where attendees couldn't stop talking about a keynote speaker's sheer outfit instead of her presentation.
Yeah.
Evidently, she killed the presentation, but everyone was like, oh my God, her shirt.
Yeah.
And wedding planners say that they're now adding dress code reminders to invitations. And some brides are even bringing backup dresses for guests whose outfits are too revealing. Plus, brands like Zara, Aerie, and Victoria's Secret are all leaning into that sort of innerwear as outerwear trend. So,
Wow.
naked dressing.
Okay, I have actually a lot of things to say about this. First of all, I do think it's a kind of a fun trend. Like a few that, I mean, I'm just talking about like sheer, nothing like revealing, but I like a sheer fun top that kind of moves and is like, interesting
same.
in that way.
Yeah.
I think to the office, it's an absolute heck no. And I can't even wear like a short sleeve shirt to the office and feel like totally comfortable. Like I like to be like, in a business, if you're in a business environment,
Yeah.
people are doing deals, deals are being made. Money is being put on the table. Like you're really going
Yeah.
to wear like a sheer top? That's crazy to me. And I know I should be probably like go for it, girl. But that to me, maybe I'm just a traditional girly,
I
but
think it just depends on your office. Like,
yeah,
you
no.
know your office better than anyone else. So,
True.
like, I've always worked in media and I would never wear just like a sheer top. But
No.
like, I mean, like this sweater is a little sheer, but it's like I think I would be fine to wear this to the office.
Yeah.
And I wear like a more sheer top to go out all the time. Like
Yeah.
I think that's very empowering. I think some of it is a little too attention grabbing, and like
Yeah.
you and only you can know what the line is for your body.
Right. And also just to touch on wedding guest dresses.
Oh yeah, no, that's messed up.
That's crazy. Like, why don't be like hot that and or hotter than me at my wedding? Like, please, just like keep it somewhat PG. Like, I don't need like unless you're like my best friend single girl that we're trying to like, get a date, but it's just like I don't need that. No offense. It's just like that's just not the vibe for
Yeah,
me.
yeah, I totally agree. I
That's
mean,
not
like,
the vibe of a wedding. Like, I actually think that's weird to show up and like try to look super hot at the wedding.
I mean,
Like,
I
you can look
totally get
cute.
wanting to look like beautiful. Yeah.
Yeah.
I also think it kind of depends on the energy of a wedding. Like,
Yeah.
I had a cousin once who wanted everyone to like show up and show out, and she put that on you know what I mean? She put that on her invites.
She
Like,
said, "Show up naked.
she did not say show up naked. But like,
No
I asked her, I
clothes
was like, hey, is
required."
this dress okay? Because I also will say, as someone who's like a little chestier, oftentimes things that would not look very revealing on a size 0 do look more revealing on me. So I asked her beforehand, if you're ever in doubt, just ask the bride. Be like, is this cool? And they will say yes or no. Give them the
Yeah.
veto power, and I think everyone will be happy. And don't wear white.
Yeah, that's a golden rule.
Yeah.
Well, thank you so much for being here this week. We love you all so dearly. If you could like and subscribe, we would love you even more.
Yeah. Tell your friends, tell your neighbors, even the post like office guys,
Tell
like
your
whatever.
ex-boyfriend or
Tell your
something.
ex-boyfriend.